Hey everyone, welcome to the Catch Fence. Today we're at Texas. We had the Worth 400. Stage 1, pretty uneventful. Cindric leading in the closing laps of Stage 1. Closing on a lap traffic. He did not have the best car at this time, or really all day per se. But he had Barry and Reddick chasing him down. They're probably going to pass him. He was probably finished stage third, at least second. And then Denny blew an engine with 5 laps to go or so, and that pretty much stage ended under caution. So Cindric got the stage win thanks to Denny's engine expiring, which stage 2, middle, about lap 40. Barry is just walking the dog, not a care in the world, getting ready to start green flag pit cycles, and he hits the bumps coming out of 4 and just loses it, backs into the wall. Which this is where I have a question. So they interview him long time later. I feel like 40 laps later. Leaving the infield care center, and I'm like, are you repairing the car and get back out there? He's like, yeah, we're trying. Which, unless it's because he hit the wall and they weren't going right back out, he had to go. But my understanding was, if you're going to go back out, you have to sit in the car. Blaney did it, or was it Blaney? No, Larson. Maybe Larson didn't hit the wall when he did it at Darlington. No, he did hit the wall at Darlington, I do believe. Yeah, he had to sit in the car. He couldn't get out. So how does Barry get out and then get back in? Because he ended up finishing 32nd, I believe. All right, we'll get to that a little later. But he really didn't gain points on anyone other than maybe... Well, we'll get to that later. So that sucks for him. And then stage 2... Busher was running 34th, blew a right rear, backed into the wall. So stage 2 ended under caution. Then you had quote unquote the big one, which there's a few of the quote unquote big ones, I guess, today. Bubba, he said in an interview afterwards, and it's pretty much exactly what happened on the track. He was trying to give the 22 Logano room, and he just didn't have the room to give him. He hit the wall, came down, crossed Logano's nose, got spun. Jesse Love spun, bringing out a caution in the middle of green flag pit cycles, which a few seconds, and we could be looking at a whole new ball game, and Ryan Preece would be looking pretty good, possibly. So instead of becoming a race leader, he went a lap down because of the timing of the caution. Then the announcer jinx got Busch. They're talking about Kyle Busch is hungry. The quote was, "That guy right there, Kyle Busch, we know how hungry he is to get back to victory lane." And like that, coming out of 4, backed it into the wall. Out of the top 12 cars that finished today, Larson was the only one that started top 12. Well, started row 6, started the race in row 6 or higher. So it was kind of like an underdog kind of day, really. I mean, when you look at, well, none of the top 12 other than Larson, possibly top 11. I'm assuming 11. I don't know why Mike Joy just didn't say that, but you know, I do find it interesting. McDowell almost had it. Almost. He did everything he could to hold Logano off, but Logano got around and probably shouldn't have fought Blaney as hard as he did for second. Blaney cleared him, moved up in front. He got in Blaney's wake, lost it into the wall. But speaking of Blaney and McDowell, so Blaney, McDowell, Jones, and John Hunter Nemechek. Well, I guess McDowell didn't get to finish in the top 10, but he was close. All overcome pit road penalties today. McDowell had pitting out of the box. Blaney, Jones, and John Hunter were for speeding. And I think I don't know. If you have a caution fest there at the end, it was quite frustrating, I would say. But I do. It's kind of, you can't pass. But every time you say you can't pass, Blaney, I mean, he started 24th, made his way up to, well, he finished third. I mean, his lowest spot today was 37th. McDowell crashed out with 4 to go, something like that. But he was contending for the win. I mean, there could have been another caution that wasn't him, and he could have still got up there. They did do a wild strategy of taking only 2 tires. I don't forget which caution. I think that was the last caution. But, well, not the last caution, but the last caution they out pit. I mean, Blaney finished third. He was 37th. Reddick was running up there for a while. His lowest was 28th. Logano, who won, he was down to 33rd. Eric Jones is top 10. No, 5th. Yeah, he was 35th. John Hunter Nemechek, which I think was 9th or 10th, was 38th. And Daniel Suarez, who finished 10th, was 34th. And Brad Keselowski, man, that guy cannot catch a break. I mean, he is going 0 wins, 0 top 10s, 0 top 5s, and 0 laps led. So it's not like he's having good days leading laps like Logano and Blaney have been, and Cindric in a way. And I'm sure there's probably 1 or 2 other people, but they're always leading, winning, they're contending, and then something happens out of their control and they get caught up in someone else's mess, and it just takes them out of it. I mean, he's 32nd. He's 32nd in points. He is in a must-win situation at this point. So we got Logano, Chastain, Blaney. Chastain was another one. He wasn't there all day, and all of a sudden with like 10 to go, it was like, or the last restart, before the last restart. Second last restart, it's like, oh, hey. Or maybe it was the last restart. It's like, oh, there's Ross. You had Larson, Eric Jones, Stenhouse, maybe it's a bit of a reach, but I feel like, so when Busch spun, you can see him lock him down, and then you can see the wheels lock up and then roll and lock up and then roll. Or maybe it's just the way the camera shutter was or something. I don't know. But I feel like maybe a little tension still from last year's All-Star race. Because it definitely seemed like he was trying to catch Ricky as he drove past him, and he just barely missed timing it right. Or maybe it's just coincidence. He had no idea what was going on. He didn't know who it was. Like I said, it's a bit of a reach, but I'm sure there's someone else that may ask that question. I would ask that question. So you had Austin Dillon 7th, John Hunter Nemechek 8th, Christopher Bell, who he fell back to the 34th or something. He had a cooling with his cool suit, I guess, or cooling fan. So mechanic had to crawl in there and plug it back in, and then he didn't plug it in all the way, so it took a little bit longer. But he rallied for 9th, so that's good. Actually, I thought we were going to be talking about another JGR guy, but Bell rallied. Suarez 10th, which I already said. Gilliland 11th. Ty Dillon 12th. So you had both Dillon boys in the top 12. Kind of weird to say top 12. Then you got Byron, Herbst, Haley, Elliott, Zane, Busher, which Busher made a pretty good comeback from that blowout and going a lap down, or 2 laps down. Which, back to that, I understand he didn't personally cause that caution. Like, the carcass came off his tire. But to me, he caused that because it was his car. It wasn't just a debris that all of a sudden you saw on the track. You know where car it came from. So, either way, I just thought it was weird that he wasn't charged with the caution, that it was a debris caution, whenever everyone knows the debris, because the tire carcass came off of him. Then you had Cole Custer, Kyle Busch, who rallied back for top 20. Tyler Reddick, 21st. Not bad for spinning with like, I think it was 15 to go. Which, I mean, I guess I get why they called the caution. because there was a pretty good plume of smoke there at first, and he got it straightened out and going, and probably could have, because by the time they threw the caution, all the cars behind him were probably already through the plume of smoke. SVG 22nd, Ty Gibbs 23rd, which Gibbs was doing good. I guess it's last pit stop. I don't know if they had a bad one or what, but he was top 10 for sure for a while, coming down to the winding laps, and it looked like he was going to be the only JGR car to have a good day. And then you had Hosevor 24th. Cindric got caught up in Keselowski's spin, so he was 25th. He was a good day, or was having a good day. McDowell, obviously he was having a great day towards the end. 26th, Briscoe, he was the first caution of the day, I do believe. Stepped out on him. He was close to saving it and just barely got clipped by Herbst as he drove by in the left front, and it just messed that car up, and it was off all day. But he stayed out there, and so he got points because made laps on Brad and Priest, who got taken out by Carson, which I think it was just a racing deal because it was coming out of 2. I think Carson just got tight and got squeezed Priest into the wall, but there was nowhere to go. But since it's Carson and he has a history of wrecking people, no one's really going to give him the benefit of the doubt on this one. Oh, and then you got Cody Ware, Jesse Love, Josh Berry finished 32. So Berry really didn't gain points over anyone besides Bubba, Bowman, maybe Gregson. So I said Berry. So Bubba's 33rd, get Gregson 34th, Bowman, Allmendinger. And then round that out, you had Chad Fincham and Denny Hamlin rounding out the field at 38. All in all, not terrible, I guess. The ending may kind of saved it with a little bit of not being a complete snooze fest, but for the most part, you could have slept through everything until the last 20 laps when it's like caution after caution after caution. Or actually a little bit before that, because you had Blaney catching Blaney catching Larson, and then you had that first, I don't remember who calls that wreck, but yeah, anyway, that's that for Texas. So moving on next week to Kansas. Till next time, folks, you know what to do. Stay out the catch fence.